Hi guys, it's me, Ghost. I am back after a few years of a long break. Originally, I wasn't going to make long form content again, but I realized that I really love talking, so I've decided that I wanted to make a video. Plus, I was watching this girl. Apologies if I say her channel name wrong, but I think it's Zen Games or Zenny Games. And she posted a video titled How Star Stable Ruined Their Own Game. I watched it because I thought, oh yeah, it's gonna be something I can really relate to. But actually, it was basically the same stuff that everyone's been saying. I don't know if it's just me, but I have also been an OG player from 2012 playing Star Stable. I'm not happy with SSO and the direction it's going, but I'm not happy in a different way. So I know everyone has nostalgia, so do I, for the last game, but the changes are not like, I'm not upset that Star Stable is changing. I am upset in how Star Stable is changing, if that makes sense. So strap in because I've got a load of unpopular opinions and we're gonna be kind of reacting to her video. Grab your popcorn, it's probably gonna be a fucking long one.
13 years old, scrolling on the internet and seeing an ad. I have never been a person to click on ads, but this one sparked my curiosity. I clicked on the ad and it brought me to the beautiful website of Star Stable Online. And it was an understatement to say that I became obsessed with this game. Hey, I'm just a girl after all. I don't know how else to put it than this game just felt wholesome to me. And I know a lot of people share this feeling, but unfortunately, we will never feel this feeling again. Because over the years, Star Stable has lost its course of everything. The quests, the characters, dare I even say the music.
Look at Star Stable right now. Look at my screen. This is just beautiful. Honestly, describe how gorgeous this game is. I still feel like it is wholesome. I still feel like it has its charm. And Hollywoods especially, I feel like it's magical and mystical. And before how it was, I didn't get that vibe that it was meant to be magical and mystical. I know the characters said that the Hollywoods was this way, but I didn't really feel that when I was coming into Hollywoods. It just felt like a forest. So now coming here, and I've got all of these things and the horses and it just feels very like mystical and like, I don't know how to explain it, but the vibe is completely different and I am here for it. I actually really love it.
In general, they have changed every unique detail in the game, what made Star Stable, and now it just looks like another horse game. Prices have gone up while the game went down. This is how Star Stable ruined their own game. If you're new here, hi, I'm Xeni Games. I make videos about everything nostalgic and gaming. If you fuck with that, subscribe. I've been a loyal player of this game since 2013. It's a game that used to give me this huge sense of nostalgia every time I played it. The calmness and the peacefulness of this game is just unmatched. I've lost interest in this game for a while now because they changed everything and it was no longer the game.
This is another thing that I agree with. Me and Star Stable have a love-hate relationship. I am on and off this game like eating hot food in your mouth, like it's out. And then you put it back in afterwards because it tastes good. I just get bored of the game, not because of the way it's changing, like what she said, but mainly because of how it changed. The way it changed was lack of things to do. Star Stable has this thing where it's a beautiful world with beautiful qualities, and it has so much potential, but it's empty and there's nothing to do. Kind of like the newest Saint Rose game. Like, that game didn't have much to do either. That was one of its downfalls, besides many other things that was wrong with it. Star Stable is lacking things to do, and that's why I fall in and out of love with it, because I just get bored of the game. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people. It's not that we begin to hate the game, we just don't have anything to do in it, and it just becomes boring. Well, that's the issue that I've had. I've been having problems where Star Stable is just not fun for me anymore. And then sometimes they introduce things like the light stuff in Hollow Woods. That's fun. Oh fuck, I scared him away. But then when you finish those things, there's nothing to do. I love the castle update. You know what? That's a whole other thing. I will talk about that afterwards.
That I deeply fell in love with. So I thought this is the perfect time to shit talk this game and what I think they should have done. This is my take on how I think Star Stable ruined their own game. Okay, so starting off, I played Star Stable when I was like 12, and literally when I discovered this, my world opened. I swear. This became my favorite game of all. I was a Sims player before that, but when I discovered this, Sims, EA, never heard of her. This game took over my life. Not a horse girl at all. But this game did stuff to me. I don't know what. It really sparked something in me. It made me, honestly, really happy. The game was just so wholesome. Around 2020 is when Star Stable started fucking themselves in the ass, and everyone was just like, what are you doing?
Okay, that's funny because I also started playing Star Stable back in 2012. I created an account, but I wasn't able to get Star Rider. And it wasn't this account, it was another account, which I found out Star Stable is deleted, so thanks for that. I wasn't able to get Star Rider, but I was able to level up to about level 6 or something because I rushed through it so quickly to get as high as I possibly could, because you get free Star Rider for about 3 days or something when you first make the account. I loved the game. It was crusty, don't get me wrong, and I hated the way our horses like bunny hopped instead of galloping, but it just seemed so cool and interesting to me in my young mind. Like, I was obsessed in the little snippet of it that I got. So I continued playing for about a year or so, but there wasn't really much I could do because, again, I didn't have Star Rider, but I made some cool friends. And then I kind of fell off the game because, again, my love-hate relationship, where I stopped loving Star Stable and then we rekindle our romance and get back together. That is what it's been like with me from the very beginning with SSO. And can I just say that it has just never changed, has it? But it's never changed for different reasons though, because the first reason why I wasn't able to really get sucked in and why I got bored was because obviously I didn't have Star Rider. That's not SSO's fault. I do think the game was very good and amazing. And then when I came back to Star Stable was when I turned about 18, back in 2018, and I noticed I logged into my old account. Our starter horses are different, and I was like, okay, what is this? Then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy Star Rider. So I made a new account, which is this account that I'm on now, and I bought Star Rider for myself. I bought a few months first, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm just gonna get Lifetime, and I've been playing ever since, back to back, and I've absolutely just loved how far the game has come because it's way bigger now. We never used to have Golden Leaf Stables, the Cape West Fishing. Like, there's just so much on the game that just was not there back when I was like first playing. And because like back in the days I didn't have Star Rider, I used to watch a lot of like Star Stable YouTubers, Violet Flower Garden being one of them. And I don't remember them ever talking about Golden Leaf Stables back then. So I think it came out during a period when I wasn't playing the game. But when I did see it for the first time, when I got this account back in 2018, I was like, wow, this is so cool, so cool. And then I saw Dundal and I was like, wow, this is so cool. The point is I agree with her when she says that the game got bad from 2020 because 2018 to about 2020, I was playing the game consistently, kind of, in between my university stuff. And I guess you could say Star Stable just wasn't doing updates anymore. They were updating every week, yes, but there was just like no content. There was nothing to do. And this is my main issue with SSO, because the whole point of a game is that you get to do stuff. So if I'm coming into a game and there's nothing to do, you see where I'm coming from? What is the point of the game? Do you know what I mean?
What are you doing to yourselves, to your own game? Starting off with the characters, I don't like it. I really.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the characters, and this is where my unpopular opinion comes in. So, and I'm not, again, no hate to this YouTuber, and I'm not saying her opinion is wrong. I'm just saying I have a different opinion to hers. I know hers is what most of the community feels, and I just don't feel the exact same way. But let's hear what she has to say.
Really fucking hate the characters. I hate the avatars. I hate that they change everything. Let me show you what it used to look like.
Okay, so right now you can see what she showed of what our old characters used to look like. And there was even a period before that where we just had ridiculously long ass necks, like we were just fucking straight up giraffes. And then they changed that and gave us like shorter necks. But the point is that our old characters were, how do I say this? Now I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this, but our old characters were ugly. They weren't just crusty, they were scary. Okay? I absolutely hated our old characters. I never used to want to not wear. Oh, there's an ice cream van. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. But I never used to not want to wear my helmet, my riding helmet, because I just fucking hated the way like our hair looked and stuff. And to be honest, I hated the way a lot of the clothing looked as well. I just didn't really care about outfits that much in a way that I do now. Like, look at my outfit right now. Look at me. Look adorable. Look at this. This is so fucking cute. Like, I'm in love. Look at the detail. You know, you got the little flowers on the saddle pad. You got the little flowers on my top. Like, I love it. Now, I'm not saying in the old version that we didn't have that. And I know a lot of the clothes that we had were from, like, the old, like, a lot of clothes I have anyway, are from the old clothing. But I don't know what they did, but I feel like they edited it, because I feel like I can see the details on the clothing more than I used to. Like, even with our starter gear, I thought the boots were just like muddy black boots, but actually, they're not even all black. And do you know what? I'll go to my wardrobe later and I'll show you what I mean, because our starter gear boots, if anyone sold them and they can't see them, they look so different to how they used to look for me, like back when I was first playing this game. I don't know if it's because my computer screen was shit, but I just don't feel like it's as plain looking as it used to be. Like before it just looked black muddy. I don't know how to explain it. And also outfits. Like outfits never used to have so much detail on them. Like, I used to do my outfits to match the color. Now I'm actually doing my outfits to match an aesthetic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like we can be more expressive with our outfits now and stuff. And just, yeah, anyways, I'm talking too much. Let's hear what she has to say.
Probably gonna say, that shit ugly AF. What is wrong with you? But I'm here to tell you that, you know what? Maybe it is ugly. Maybe it's the ugliest fucking avatar you've ever seen. But it was theirs. It was what made them unique. A lot of people complained that everything looks so, like, very bright.
Okay, so continuing with our character, um, I hear a lot about this "we look like Fortnite" thing, and I feel like people say that because it looks very cartoony, but I don't actually think we are the same style as Fortnite. I don't see that. I do think that we look cartoony, but I don't think that it's exactly the same style as Fortnite or Valorant or any of those kind of styles. Maybe my computer screen's just shitty, I don't know. But I just don't get that vibe. And I just don't get the same feeling from Fortnite as I do from when I come into Star Stable either. She said that the old characters were original and it was their style, and XYZ, but this is when I have to be careful with how I phrase this because I know I'm gonna upset some people and I don't want to do that. I just want to get my point across of my opinion and have people say, "Okay, I understand you, but I just feel this way." That's kind of the discussion I'm trying to bring on board, not hate or like disagreements. But I actually like our characters and think it's better than the old ones to an extent. So I don't like how different our characters are from what they used to be. They completely just created a whole new person. Like, who is she? She is not who I started with. Who are you? Like, do you know what I mean? Our characters look better than they used to be. I mean, you can't lie. I just think, and I'm happy that Star Stable updated our characters because I wanted our characters to be updated really badly because I just hated the way they looked. I've always hated the way they looked. But I didn't want them to change them this much. It would have been better if they updated the characters but kept kind of the same style. They just updated the graphics to make them look nicer. So we still had those same big eyes. We still had like the same kind of options for the face shape, you know? But they just upgraded the graphics so that we looked cleaner, newer, more in tune with the rest of the environment, maybe. Also, can we just talk about the character design of the Soul Riders? I don't remember if Zenny is going to touch on this, but I just want to quickly touch on this in case she doesn't. I hate what they did to the Soul Riders because they didn't just update their character design. No, 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 no. They basically changed who they are overall. And I think the biggest one that changed was Alex. Alex used to be so edgy with like spiky hair and stuff. Now she's like a lesbian tomboy. Like, why did you do that? Bring back the Alex we know and love, please. Like those are the things that bother me. I am not upset that they updated the characters. I am upset with the way they updated the characters. Okay, and that goes with all characters as well, not just the Soul Riders. I am upset with what they decided to do because they basically changed the whole thing. But I'm not happy that they updated them. I'm very happy they've updated them, and I would prefer this than the old characters that we had before. Sue me.
Back in the day, they had a bloom effect on like everything, which was amazing, and it made it again so unique in the gaming industry. But nowadays, they got rid of that.
Okay, I just want to talk about that blooming effect. I hated it.
Everything is now bright and like super saturated. I also don't like how they changed like the graphics of the horses.
Okay, so the saturation in the environment, I have to agree with. It's so fucking oversaturated. Like, why is the grass so green? And like, why is the grass green and then the tree leaves are like a different green? It makes it look like it would make sense like this if the trees were like super tall and they're way up and it was because the light was shining on them differently. But the trees are not that cool to be such a different color green. Like they should be a different color green, but they look kind of bluish. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not working for me. It's not working for me. And I remember someone mentioning that, and I was just like, yeah, that's why the environment feels off for me because the green on the trees is so like the contrast is just yeah. Anyways.
Look, the horses' graphics are way better, this and that, which is true, I guess. But again, it just looks like every other horse game now. There's nothing special anymore about this game.
Okay. This comment when she says it looks like every other horse game, I just have to disagree. I think Star Stable does a really good job with differentiating how each breed looks. Like the horses' faces look very different, and I can see the difference. And it's weird because in real life, especially different warm bloods, you can't really tell the difference that well unless someone like points it out to me and they're like, oh, the snout is different and the eyes are bigger or smaller and blah 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 blah. And then I'm able to see it and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. But really and truly, it's so subtle you don't notice. But in Star Stable, I can see the differences in the breeds. Like a lot. And I just don't think Star Stable looks like every other horse game. I just don't agree with that. I just don't know if no other horse game comes to mind that looks like Star Stable. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm just ignorant and I just don't know. But yeah, it just doesn't. I just don't think that that's true at all in any way, shape, or form. Next.
They took out all the special things, what made Star Stable, and they scrapped it, they got rid of it, or they completely changed it that it's not unique and not Star Stable anymore, you know what I mean? A lot of old players are really mad. Like, I love to watch YouTube videos of people complaining about Star Stable, and I've always wanted to make a video like that myself because
Oh my god, sis, same. I used to watch a lot of Denise Weiss Storm, Rattle. Violet didn't really make many complainy videos, but I loved Violet's videos, so I'm just gonna put her in there as a nice mention. Minatozy, just the lot, okay? There's a few more, but yeah. And when I tell you, I watched a lot of Denise Weiss Storm just because he just like, well, I should just say Dennis. Dennis was just like so fucking real with his opinions. And sometimes he would just be honest and say, you guys might hate them, but I like them, so you know, he would just straight up just be like, I don't care what you guys think. I like this. Or he's just straight up hating the game. And when I tell you this guy is so fucking brutal, he's so straight up and honest and he's just like, this is lazy work, this is shit, this looks like trash, this is blah blah blah. And I'm just like, yeah, he's right. I think he was the person that mentioned the tree leaves. And I was like, you know what, that's so true. That's why it feels off. Because I was feeling like it felt off. And then when he said it, you know, when someone says something and you're like, yeah, that's it, that's what's causing the problem here. Yeah, it was probably from him. If it wasn't from him, then it was from Rattle. It was one of them that said that. But yeah.
because I had so much anger for the game. So in 2020, as I said, things started to go to shit. They had a lot of people coming onto the game. It had a spike of popularity, I would say around 2018. And then around 2020, the makers of Star Stable started to not put out as many quests anymore. They weren't really working on the game itself. They were more working on more horses to put out, that every week the update would be there's a new horse.
Oh my god. That is so true. Now we are in the trenches. This is my real problem with Star Stable. That is the lack of updates with value. Let me say that again. The lack of updates with value. Okay? I'm not saying they don't give any updates that have value in them. I'm just saying it's not enough. And back in like 2020, because I remember this because I rejoined the game back in 2018, and I'm starting to get bored after a few years. So this adds up very fucking well with her saying that in 2020 they stopped doing quests. Oh my god, that was such a problem. Like the only thing you could literally do in this fucking game was buy a new horse. There was a lot of double star coins weekends as well. Lots of double star coins, double star coins. Oh my god, they used FOMO like it was fucking water and oxygen, mate. It was a necessity. That was their main thing, FOMO. It became an actual problem, and I remember back then you couldn't just stand still and earn horse XP, and you couldn't replay races. You had to like go around the entire map and train your horse in each race a day, and it would take you like back in the days it take you like a week to update your horse to level 15. But then it took about during that period, it was about 3 days that you could get your horse to level 15, and that was just so fucking boring. You would just that was the only thing you could do in the game. Buy a horse, race with it for 3 days, get it to level 15, log off, wait for them to bring out another horse that you just do the whole thing again. There was nothing else left to do in Star Stable. Nothing else that you could do. I repeat, it was fucking shit. And I got bored and left the game. Like, the only reason why I would log in was for my dressage club, and then even that got fucking boring, and I just stopped playing the game. And I stopped doing YouTube videos and just, yeah. I remember there was a period where there was just a whole no star coins, no purchasing of star coins thing that players had to do just to get Star Stable to listen to them, because they were not listening to their fans, their gaming base. People were saying what they wanted, and Star Stable were not doing it. They were just doing what they fucking wanted to do. And that was such a weird time, to be honest. It was such a weird time. And I remember, I might correct me if I'm wrong, but Abigail Pinehaven released a video, and she was talking about this very issue. And she was like, we need to reach and start hitting their pockets and stop buying star coins. We need them to listen to us. We need to stop giving them money, because by giving them money, we're making them think that they can just do whatever the fuck they want. Those were not her exact words, by the way, but that's basically what she was saying. Okay. And she said, we need to stop spending money on star coins, and we need to get them to hear us. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And I wasn't even playing the game during this time because I got bored of it. But I was like, yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Like, this is exactly what we need to do. And there was a whole hashtag and everything going on. I don't know what the verdict of that was, but it must have been good, because they started to release some main story quests. And they said they have a separate team that does the quests. So I don't know why it always takes them so fucking long to do a quest and create that for us. Especially since Star Stable I swear Star Stable is following on from the books. So most of the story should be fucking written, right? Like, they know what they're doing. This is just my assumption, by the way. I actually haven't read the books.
When I played this as a child, I was so excited for a new update because the updates never disappointed. Like, it was always something so cool. Like, new areas to explore, like new quests for the storylines that weren't like played out in 1 second. We had a lot of new players coming on. Star Stable liked that a lot because the more players, the more cash. The downfall of Star Stable was really like them not listening to customer service anymore. But my point is, a lot of people reached out apparently being like, hey, you're only putting out horses. It's like you just want money. It feels, I'm not sure if this is a fact, but it feels like the game got sold to some millionaire, billionaire, whatever, and put an entire new team on it. And that's why everything like changed.
Yeah, I just want to say that she's completely right. That is exactly what happened with Star Stable. I can't 100% remember what was done. It wasn't sold to a big corporate company, but I know that Star Stable now has like stakeholders or something like that. I might be wrong, by the way. Don't take what I'm saying as gospel, because I don't really remember very well. But it's definitely not being 100% run with players' opinions or needs at the heart of it. It's actually being prioritized with stakeholders, because they're investors, and they're investing in the game, and they care about how many people are coming on the game, how much money Star Stable is making. So they're prioritizing that so that they can please those investors. That's when the game started to fucking go to shit. And it's true, because they weren't listening to everyone. That's why we had to do that not purchasing star coins thing, because they weren't fucking listening to us. So we had to like literally hit their pockets so that they could give it a fucking rest. And another thing that I think is really important that people need to understand is that YouTubers, I see, don't really notice, is that Star Stable is a business. They have to make money. And they are always going to do that as a priority. That's fine. What Star Stable did wrong, though, was make it their sole priority. they did not consider their audience at all. Do you understand? Which was a stupid decision because the whole idea is you're meant to be marketing. I work in marketing, okay? And the whole idea is you're supposed to be marketing towards your target audience and what they would want. And within doing so, they basically kick themselves in their own foot and well kick themselves with their own foot in their ass and jeopardize their finances. Because if your fan base, your player base, your customers are not happy, why would they continue to keep giving you their hard-earned cash?
Been a lot of cheating in the game, as in people cheat to race faster, and that way people win that don't deserve it. It was astronomical, and people didn't give a shit on the Star Stable team. They really didn't give a shit. No one ever replied to any of the complaints, and I bet they had thousands of complaints about that. They just only put out more horses that no one asks for. I've heard that they fixed the cheating thing by banning anyone that has ever cheated on the game. Star Stable is trying to redeem themselves. I don't know if they're doing a good job. I'm not up to date with that, but apparently they are trying to redeem themselves and trying to make this community a thing.
Okay, so that is something very key in what she said. She's not up to date with what's going on with Star Stable. But apparently they are trying to redeem themselves. And for that, as someone who has been playing, I'm going to say yes. Star Stable is trying, but they're not trying enough. But they are trying, okay? I'm not here to just sit down and just fucking complain. I'm here to be honest and truthful about things. And this whole light experience of collecting light and stuff, and the way how we can get horse XP, the different ways we can do that, even the special moment that you get with your horse, yeah, all of that stuff is chef's kiss. Thank you so much, Star Stable. I love it. Even the new castle, the Magna Heist, which I think came out after her video, so castle wouldn't have existed when she made this video, so she doesn't know about it. Even that, yeah, I am loving it. That's the best, one of the best updates we've ever had next to the Hollywood's quests. So Star Stable is definitely redeeming themselves, and they're definitely doing better than what it was that they were doing before. And I just think that not enough people are taking recognition of that. They're just complaining of the stuff that Star Stable still isn't doing, giving us enough quests or giving us enough updates that are like this. But yeah. Anyways, back to the video.
Again, they changed a lot of the soundtracks, which I find so weird. I'll play the old soundtrack and I'll play the new kind of ambience we have now.
Wait, I just want to say, who remembers that soundtrack? That used to come up every time you were going to do a race. It just gives me back memories, man. I actually miss that audio.
This is a thing that pisses me off in Star Stable. They changed things that no one asked for.
Okay, so talking about the Star Stable soundtrack, I don't really have much to say because this change I just don't really care about. If they changed it, okay. If they didn't change it, okay. The old soundtrack is just as good as the first. I don't know why they changed it, to be honest. I didn't have any problems with the old soundtrack, but I'm not sad that it's gone, you know? What I will say that I miss is the Miscreants, if that's how you say their name. Yeah, I thought they were so cool. What happened to them? What happened then? Also, I don't know if anyone remembers the Star Stable Friends app. You could message your friends that are on Star Stable through this app on your phone, and you can get your mail on it, and you could also listen to Star Stable music on it. It was called Star Stable Friends, I'm sure. I don't know if it still exists, but that had all of their songs in it as well. And I think that was a nice touch to the game, to be honest. But I will say that I don't know why they changed the old audio. It wasn't broken, you know what they say. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I am a believer in innovation and improving and updating. I actually don't mind the changes. I'm quite open to them, even if it takes me a while to adjust. But I don't know why they changed the audio, so I have to agree with her here and say, why did they change something that no one asked for? But the new soundtrack, just like she said, it's not bad. It's not bad, okay? That's the main thing.
And I think that really takes away the realism. Kitty Spiderweb talked about this. She has a video like Death of Realism, which is a really good video. I recommend you check that out.
It's so true. SSO has changed realism in their game for the worse. So, for example, one of the biggest things that really, really bother me in this game, well, two of the biggest things, stay with me. No, three actually, and they're all to do with mechanics to do with our horses. First of all, number one, cold tolerant horses. Why? Why was that taken away? Why was that removed? Who was complaining about that? It gave us reasons to buy cold tolerant horses. It gave us reasons to do this. So whose decision in SSO headquarters was to remove that? The next thing, the bus ticket. Okay, no. Actually, no. That is a whole other thing. It's not to do with horses. The next thing is actually our magical horses. Our magical horses used to only come out during times when you're in like a forest or the woods or something. They would never display in town because it's meant to be a secret, right? But now you can have your magic put out whenever you fucking like. So now it's like, it's not really this big secret anymore, and it's not even that magical anymore because it's not even like doing it by itself. You're just like hitting a button and you're able to bring out your magical coat. Makes no sense. And also, this is the next thing, which I'm sure a lot of people might agree with me on. Why is it that they took away being able to have to keep pressing on the up key horse to continue trotting? Because otherwise, it just starts walking, it goes down a gate, and you have to keep giving your horse encouragement. Why was that removed? Like, now my horse is like riding by itself. I just press the button once and then whoa, there it goes. Why was that changed? I don't understand. Who was complaining about that? Who was sending emails to Star Stable asking them to change that? What the hell? Those are the three big things that I'm upset about. Along with, like what I mentioned before, the fucking bus ticket. Like, why was the bus ticket and the bus taken away? I don't know, but yeah.
Say this. When we walked through this, everything would be super cloudy because we were walking in the mountains. They took that away as well because, again, death of realism. When you're in the mountains, high up in the mountains, it can get cloudy. They took that away because I think Kitty Spiderweb said this as well.
Okay, so it's just as she said. She took away the fog when you're up in the mountains. And do you know what? I didn't even realize it was taken away until she mentioned it. And I was like, oh yeah, shit, that's fucking gone. Why? I don't care that they updated the characters. I don't care that they're updating the game to make the graphics look better. That is not my problem here. I care about how they're going about their changes and what they're changing. So, for example, the mounting, the way magical horse coats are displayed, all of those things that I said before, that is my issue. I don't know why they've taken things away, why they've altered certain things like the music that we didn't ask for, but I don't mind that SSO is changing the game. That is where my opinion becomes different from everybody else's. I just want to know, does anyone even feel the same way as me, or am I just weird?
Trying to take away the challenge of the game, which infuriates me! It was always a kid's game, we know that. It's like they're really trying to make the target audience even younger than it used to be. Also, what is this? I need to complain about this. What is this? What is this? I have seen this last time and I got rewards. I don't know why I got rewards. I don't know what I did to get rewards. And I couldn't even bother to read this. I'm not gonna click on it now. I don't want to do this. This is not. This is there. Oh my god, I hate this.
This was one of my pet peeves of something that Zenny said. Again, no hate to her. We just agree and disagree in some ways, and I can be open to other people's opinions. So the first thing she said was they changed the UI for SSO. This is where I have to agree that I don't like it. I mean, that I do like it, but I think they could have done it in a better way. So she mentions the little horseshoe we used to have at the bottom of our screen, which is so fucking true. Like, we used to have that thing there, and it really was just like a really unique way to display the UI. Now, if you look at the UI that I have now, it's quite basic, if that's the right word. It's modern, which means it's simplistic. And, they could have still gone with something simplistic and modern looking, but kept the horseshoe to like have that remnants of the old game. Do you know what I mean? To respect what it used to be or what it was, You can improve things without completely altering it to become something completely new. They could have recolored it. They could have made it smaller. It could have still been in this blue with white outline thing that they've got going on. They could have still had that, but with the same horseshoe. Do you know what I mean? But it's like when they make these changes, it's like they're making a completely new game. Like that is where I have to say, like, I agree partially. Like, I wanted the UI. I mean, I didn't want, but I am not bothered with the UI being changed or updated. Like I said, I'm open to changes. Change is not my issue here. I am open to the game improving, innovating, and adapting. I'm here for it. Change is good, okay? I loved what the game used to be, but I can love what it could be too at the same time. Both things can be true. And what my issue here is that they don't seem to give a nod off to what makes the game what it was. It's like going into a new home and not taking into consideration the unique features of the home. Instead of appreciating the fact that it's got a vintage look to it, you're tearing it apart and rebuilding it to make it look modern. Do you know what I mean? You're completely switching what it was and not make and instead of making it what it could be, you're making it into something completely new. And that's the vibe I get from SSO. And that is one of the issues that I have with their updates. It's that they are making completely new big changes that don't even give a nod to what it used to or what it was. She also mentions this thing that I'm gonna bring up, this Trailblazer track. Now, this is where I'm just gonna give a slight complaint to Zenny Games. Again, no hate, only love. But my dear, if you haven't even bothered to read what this is, why would you have an opinion on it? That's like saying I don't like strawberries, but you haven't had a strawberry before in your life. How the hell do you know you don't like it if you don't know what it is or what it tastes like? So I'm gonna explain what this is. This is something that's very common in a lot of games. If you play Roblox, a lot of Roblox games have stuff like this, and it's just basically a daily sign-in, and it's a way for you to achieve free rewards from SSO. Because when does SSO give us free stuff? Okay, through this. So you level up every time you log in or you do quests and stuff like that, and then you achieve points. And as you progress more, the more you play the game, the more points you get, and then the more things you can unlock. And then it resets again. I think they do it every month because this one resets. April 1st. I feel like they do it every month. And then you can get like a full set. You can get stable care. The stable care is a bit expensive. Like 7-day stable care is like over 100 star coins. So you can get free stable care tokens, treats for your horse, all of these things. I think this was such a good addition to the game, and it's a way to not only encourage players to play more and fill the environment, but also give back to the community, have us earn things for free. And the thing is, the things that they're giving us are not even shit quality either. Like, look at this saddle pad. It looks adorable. I want it. So, yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. Like, this is not something that is bad. This is actually a good thing. And I think that she should have looked into it a bit more before she said an opinion on it. Because some people are kind of the type to be like, oh, yeah, why did they add this? This is stupid. This is actually, yeah, enough said. Anyways.
The global store. Probably the worst decision they could ever make.
No, it wasn't.
You have like transportation things like this, but you have to pay for those. I'm honestly surprised that they didn't take away the transportation things, because this is also very realistic. This is still an
Oh, please, why would they take away the teleportation trailers? Like, even Red Dead Redemption has teleportation trailers. Any game that is an open world would have a method of teleportation across the map. Okay, the most that they would probably do is update them. They're probably going to update the trailers at some point. But I don't think they would ever take teleportation across the map away. Why would they do that? Okay.
We had all these adorable, and I'm talking adorable, shops in the game. And if we wanted something from, I don't know, let's say the Harvest Counties, we had to go from here right to there.
Okay, so let's talk about the global store. The global store. So this is where people are going to absolutely hate me, but I don't hate the global store. And if you hate me, then so be it. The only thing I will say, and Denise Whitestorm, I saw mention this, SSO has really weird UIs. So like your inventory looks like this. It's like see-through blue. But your character sheet is like the old version of SSO's UI, which is like just a blue, no see-through, no nothing. And can I just say, this is a good example of changing things but not completely altering them. Like this style of the blue and the dark blue and stuff is close to this, if you know what I mean. Like they could have just went and made this pink, like their logo, right? But instead they kept it blue. But then what the fuck is this? Why is this brown? Like, I don't understand. That's when I get confused. So, is it blue or is it brown? Do you know what I mean? Is it going to be transparent or is it going to be like this? Like, SSO, make up your mind. You can't have all these different UIs. That's the only thing that I would say. But if we're going to talk about the global store, again, in another different UI style, what the fuck? The global store is not something that I hate. It's not something that I absolutely love. I think it could be better. I think we should allow for us to add a wish list for things. I think it should allow us to build outfits whilst on top of our horse. I think we should be able to adjust this bit so that we can have it full screen and really look at what we are dealing with, so we could really make outfits more clearer. But maybe I'm just fucking blind. I don't know. I wear glasses. Who knows? But the point of what I'm saying is that I don't hate the global store. You can still go to individual stores across the map, okay? I don't know if Zenny or is it? I think it's Zenny. Zenny's a cute name. I think it's Zenny. I don't know if Zenny thinks that we can't go to the stores anymore, but you can still go to the stores and buy what you want. Okay, I don't want people to think that you can't do that anymore. If you still want to go to the stores, you don't want to use global store, you can still do that. And also, not all items are in the global store. Not all items are in the global store. Some items you have to go to the stores to get. Okay? Hope I made that clear.
Another thing that I hate is winter in Star Stable. Winter used to be the most magical time to play Star Stable. Everything was covered in snow. It wasn't a switch that you can turn off or turn on. Whose idea was that? So now we have a switch. If you want it to snow, you can turn it on. And I guess people will say, like, it's nice to have that possibility, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Just make a decision, you know? Let it snow.
Okay, so snowing in Star Stable. Can I just say they took that away for a while where it wasn't snowing in Jorvik, and that was like so upsetting. And then they brought it back, and they brought it back in a way that I kind of like, kind of hate. So what do I like about it? I actually like that you can turn it off and back on again. I actually like that I can do that because sometimes there's a main story quest that I still have to do, and I don't want it to look like it's snowing whilst I'm playing that quest. Um, Sometimes I want to take a picture and I don't want it to look like it's snowing for that photo because maybe I want to take a photo that I'm gonna post during spring. Like, you just never know. And also, what is bad with there being an option? If you want it to snow and be snowing all the time, then just don't turn it off. I don't see the issue with that. I don't like about the snow is it has this really weird like blue filter on it that just looks like shit, basically.
Another thing I really hate, ponies nowadays are as fast as normal horses. Come on.
Yeah, I hate that. Why are ponies as fast as normal horses?
We had like a special race called the pony race. That was the only race you had where ponies had a chance, right? I feel like instead of like just making ponies faster, they should have just made more pony races. Like, it's just not realistic. Ponies are tiny. Also, what I think they should have done is like make pony beauty contests, because that's like a thing, right?
That would have been such a good idea. I've never thought of that, but I would have loved to do like pony beauty pageants. Why is that not a thing?
Star Stable has a huge team, okay? This is like a super successful game nowadays. They should be able to put out amazing quests, amazing.
Facts. There is no reason why Star Stable should not be putting out their own stuff in the game. That is better. Like, there's no excuse as to why there is such a limitation on the amount of things to do or quality of updates that we get in SSO. There should be no excuse for that.
This is the bus stop in Fort Pinta. It used to be this really busy place, and you had to buy a bus card from a store in Fort Pinta. And then
Oh, here we are. We're finally talking about one of my pet peeves, the fucking bus. I'll let her explain, but I absolutely hate that they took away the fucking bus.
3 minutes, I think, a bus would literally right here come from far away. It would stop here for, I don't know, a minute maybe or less. And then everyone would hurry and they would get their bus ticket and then they would travel to Jorvik City. Now, if you want to go to Jorvik City, all you have to do, you don't need a bus card. There's not a bus in sight anymore. You just click, you say where you want to go, and the mall already felt like a global store because you had all these different stores in one place. Also, this mall was like under construction, but it's in under construction for years now.
Another example of Star Stable being fucking lazy. Yeah, the mall has been under construction for fucking years. Way back in 2012, the mall was around and it was under fucking construction, and it's still under construction even now. Also, you can have the mall and the global store. Maybe the mall can be a place where absolutely every item in Jorvik is. I don't know. But I don't want them to take away the mall. I really love it. And I don't want them to take away the global store. I really love it. So, yeah.
Fucking breaks my heart. It feels like I'm exploring an abandoned mall, because I kid you not, when this was filled with people, they fucked themselves in the asses with adding this fucking global store.
Okay, so no, they didn't fuck themselves in the asses by adding the global store. But what I will say is that it is really sad to see that the mall is such a barren wasteland. But it's not because of the global store. Because let me just put it into perspective. What happened when Wildwoods came out? Everyone was going to Wildwoods. Everybody. Everyone was going to Wildwoods. Think of it this way. When Wildwoods was released, everyone was going to Wildwoods, right? When the exact same thing happened with Willowwoods as well. When it's updated and you got those new quests. Now they're kind of like a barren wasteland. And that's exactly what happened to the mall. Not because something new got introduced and people just didn't want to go there anymore, like what she's insinuating with the mall, but because there is a lack of content in the game. There is not enough things to do all over the map. Right now, if we look at my map, I have daily quests, but ignore that. I have no quests. Like, here is the yellow exclamation mark. I have no quests. Now I know you're gonna say, oh, you've got reputation stuff, but let me explain what this is. This is Dino Bones. This is looking for Dino Bones. Okay. I stopped doing that years ago. I'm not fucking doing that. It's boring as hell. This I am doing and working on, but everyone's working on those. So basically, we all have 2 quests going on at the moment. This is fishing. And this is fishing. Just saying. And I am doing them, but my god, is it fucking boring. This is cooking. Yeah, I forget about her sometimes. That's why it's still there, because I can't be asked. And this is the medieval camp. Like, I was away from Star Stable a while ago, so I've only just come back, so I'm kicking into this. So basically, the only real good quests I have is the Valedale one I'm doing, this one at the medieval castle, and these 2. I don't have any more main story quests. Right? I don't have any main story quests. I only have side quests. Okay? And my side quests are fucking grindy bullshit. That require reputation, which I am doing, by the way. But you get my point. Most people don't have anything. Most people's maps look like this. Why the fuck are they gonna log on to the game?
What I think Star Stable should have done, instead of changing the entire game and never being able to go back to the old game now, they should have made a new fucking game. And the new fucking game would be like what we're playing now, right?
Okay, this is when I started to get a little bit like, what? In her video. Because what do you mean you want them to make a new game that would be the one that we're playing right now? So basically, you just mean they should make another SSO with the good graphics so you guys can have the SSO with the old graphics, is basically what you're saying. And can I just say that that would be a stupid business decision? Because you would have to have completely separate servers for that. You would have to double your team to make the graphics, because it's 2 separate graphics that they're going to have to make to update, and 2 separate types of coding they're going to have to do as well to keep up with updates. Updates will probably have to be way, way less, to be honest. I don't think they'll be able to keep up with 2 weeks all the time. I mean, 1 week every time. And also, most importantly, would it be cost effective? I know that she says that you would be earning from 2 games, but with their expenses that they'll have, I just don't think it would be worth it. What would be better? Oh good, I'm lying here now. Great. I wanted you to jump, but I didn't want you to fucking lie down. What would actually be a good idea is if they gave the option for you to go into like a classic mode in the game. Ah, do you hear what I'm saying now? Okay, I came up with this idea by myself. If somebody else had this idea and has mentioned it, they copied me. I don't care. I think that we should have a classic mode for players who want to see the classic version of Star Stable. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think it would be possible for you to have a classic mode with the map being as big as it is now. It would probably be a classic mode with how Star Stable was back in 2012-ish, or 2015 or something, where the map was like how it was before, because they can probably revitalize that and get that bit of code again, but they're not going to recode new areas and redesign new areas like how Dundalk could have looked in the old graphics. Like, they're not going to do that. That's just a lot of work with no extra profit from it. Instead, they'd probably just revert back, kind of like better SSO, how better SSO is. Like if you could do that. So the problem that you would face is that you would have nothing to do. There would be no quests if you did have a classic mode. So I just wanted to put that out there. But if all you're missing is the feeling and the vibe of SSO, you would get that through having a classic mode. But be wary that they probably won't be able to update it with new quests. You would have to go back to the normal original version of the game to get that, because otherwise you're asking them to code two versions of the same thing at once, which is just not cost effective.
This off, I just want to say I've seen people say like we just miss the old Star Stable because we've grown up, and I'm sorry, but to that I say no, because I still play The Sims 3.
Okay, and I still play The Sims 3 as well. I also still play Roblox. That's also from my childhood. I also still play Bin Weevils from my childhood. There are games that I still revisit and I still play from my childhood. I still pick up Mario Brothers every now and again. There's always going to be games that you're gonna return to from your childhood and play. There's always going to be movies you're going to return to from your childhood and watch. That's not what people mean, what people are saying when they're saying that you've just grown up now. That's not what they're not saying, oh, you're grown up and you shouldn't be playing this anymore, and it's just not for you, you're not the target demographic. They're saying that you're just clinging to nostalgia and not accepting innovation. And that's the truth. I feel like everyone is just so ready to complain. And everyone complaining about the same exact things. They're changing. Guys, it's an old ass fucking game. It needs to be updated. It needs to change. Instead of complaining that they're changing the game and it's not like it used to be, you should be complaining that they're changing the game in the wrong way. Change and innovation is not bad. Okay? I'm sorry. This is my opinion. Change is not bad. Innovation is not bad. Updating characters is not bad. Updating the horses is not bad. Updating the area is not bad. Okay? I know you miss how SSO used to look like. I do too. I got so much nostalgia from it. But you can stand back and you can look at it for what it is. Because both things can be true at the same time. Now, I'm not saying you need to love all the updates, because I've already complained about things that I don't like that they changed. I don't like the way our characters look 100%, but I'm more happy with it than the old characters. I don't like that they took away cold tolerant horses. I don't like that they took away that we have to keep pressing on the up button to encourage our horse to keep in the same gait. I don't like they took away the bus ticket. I don't like how they designed the wardrobe. I don't like the different UIs. I don't like a lot of things that they have changed. I'm not here to say that you just need to accept everything SSO is doing. I'm here to say that you need to accept change. That's what I want to say. That is my point of this video. That is my unpopular opinion, because it feels like everyone's like, why are we changing the game? It was fine the way it was. The old characters are better. Please. Please. Instead of saying that, say this instead. I wish SSO would have updated our characters with the original design in mind. I like that they updated the characters. I'm happy they get better graphics and we fit the game more. But I wish they didn't alter and change the style of our characters this drastically. I would have preferred we got updated version of our original characters in the new graphics to fit the game, so we don't stand out as much anymore. That would be a better way to speak about things than it was fine how it was before, because guys, no, it wasn't. It was outdated, it was old, it needed to be updated, it needed to be innovated, it needed to change with the time. Because old things can't stay the same all the time, otherwise it'll never get better. That is my problem with the Star Stable community. But it's not that I hate the community, and it's not that I'm completely against everyone's opinions and ideas. It's just that I see why everyone's saying what they're saying, but two things can be true at the same time. That's all. Oh, I hope I don't get hate for this. It's just my opinion. It's just how I feel. And I feel like everyone's just saying the same thing, but no one's really admitting that the game needs to be updated, guys. It's an old game with old graphics. It has to change. You can say you don't like the way it's changing, but you can't just say it's bad that it's changed and they should make two separate games, one for old players and one for new players. Like, come on. Change and innovation is good. If we never changed, we wouldn't have electricity in our homes right now. We would still be using candles for lighting. I guess that's all I have for this video. There's not really much more I have to say. Besides, I just don't think Star Stable is bad for updating and innovating their game. So yeah, I don't hate the updates that SSO have done. I am not 100% against them, and I hear the community when they say that the game is changing and it's like Zenny said, she feels like she's being robbed of her childhood game. Like, I get that. I get that. But saying that the old game should be exactly the way it was and they just have this game be a separate game for new players is just completely unrealistic. But what I would say is they could possibly put in a classic mode that we talked about, but again, it comes with its downside. Is it bad that the game is updating and it's changing and it's improving, right? Again, not all of the changes are good. I think it's a big step up from what the game used to be when I first started playing as a child. And that's my opinion. And I know I'm gonna have people against it, but like, I am unhappy with SSO. This is a complaint video, but it's also not a complaint video, it's an acceptance video as well. I always hear the same things from everyone and all of these YouTubers, and no one seems to have the same opinion as me. So I really hope that there's someone out there that's going to be like, I hear you, Ghost. I hear what you're saying, and I'm here for it. I really hope, because it cannot just be me that just doesn't hate that the game is looking better. We don't look as crusty anymore, or that I'm having a completely new experience in SSO now. Like, sure, it's not exactly the same as it used to be, but it's a brand new thing that I get to explore and experience. And it can be exciting. Sure, it's not perfect, and I'm not happy with all of their changes, but I don't hate this game. If I hated it, I wouldn't be playing right now and making YouTube videos. I don't love all of the changes they made. I don't agree with how they've gone about their changes. I don't love the structure of it. I don't love the lack of things to do. However, I am not hating or disliking the fact that they're changing. Okay? I love the old SSO. I loved playing with it. I love this SSO in its own way. They both had good and bad fucking qualities about them. And that is all I'm gonna say. Because then this is gonna be a fucking long video and I already have to edit it and it's gonna be long. Is I'm gonna leave you with this. You can have both things be true at the same time. I feel like some people are scared to admit and come forward to say when they like something with SSO, because there's such a lot of negativity in the community with complaining and complaining. I hope I start something where you can be positive towards something that majority hates. Okay? Just because everyone else is saying it's shit doesn't mean that you just have to say it's shit for the sake of it, okay? I understand how the older players feel. I am an older player. This is my childhood game as well. I relate to it, but I can accept it for what it was as well. It was outdated and it was old. We're getting something new and innovative. Just take of that what you will. Instead of complaining that it's changing, try complaining about how it has changed instead. And that's all I'm gonna say, so feel free to roast me in the comments. I feel like I hope I haven't offended anyone. To Zenny Games, no hate towards you either. I actually loved your video and I ended up subscribing to you, so yeah, just that I had a different opinion in some areas. And with that, I will say good morning, good evening, or good night. and I'll see you in the next video.